Business Insider India has been on a high these last few months. The publication has witnessed a growth of 150% in the last 6 months in monthly active users and has been able to connect with millennials by giving them the news that they like in the way they like it. We recently caught up with Sriram Iyer, Chief Editor, Business Insider India, to know about the publication's journey in India so far, the factors that have contributed to its growth, and the roadmap ahead.
It's been fantastic to say the least. I've been here for about 6 months, and in this last 6 months we've seen spectacular growth in our audience engagement as well as traffic. I mean, more than doubled, in just a matter of months, and that is, I think, a sort of good, audience are watching for the work that we are doing. And more importantly, even the industries started recognizing. We had a report from Reuters just a couple of months ago, which put us in among the top, 20 odd digital publications in the country, and that was the first for Business Insider, making the cut into the top league. And it didn't have, we made it ahead of a lot of established players who've been around for many years, have had some great global names backing them. But we've definitely managed to sort of, pick up pace and as well as quality, and make sure that people are responding, well to our stories, and the industry is recognizing. A Reuters report putting us ahead of even some general news players in the digital space were behind us on the list, and I think it's a little difficult. It's too good to be true, but it is true. First and foremost, the team. I think the team has been, the composition of the team, the skill sets that they bring to the table, and so it's a young team that's driving this entire force that Business Insider is in India. And it is important, and it is something for every media house to acknowledge that it is time for the youngsters to be given a space, because they know they are the audience that we are serving at the end of the day. It is not enough to say that 65% of the country is under the age of 35 and have a bunch of 50 plus people running the show across the spectrum. That's, I think, has been the biggest sort of strength that we've had. The team is young, it thinks like the audience that we are serving, it speaks the way the audience speaks, and therefore the audience is able to relate more to us in not just the topics that we are covering, the way we are covering it, and that's what is giving us one of the best engagement rates across the world from the industry. We are way better than some of the biggest names across the world in terms of the amount of time that a person he or she comes into the site, does not leave, if they haven't read 10 stories. And that's the level of engagement, and I think we are very proud, and that can happen only if it cannot be a top-down approach. It is something that every single individual has to contribute to, and I think that is what the team of Business Insider is doing really well. The young people are talking about stories that they care about and talking about it in a way that the audience cares about. What is business news, right? From everything that we do, from the moment that we wake up in the morning, the first thing that we do is Facebook and Instagram's business, or WhatsApp's business. Then the milk that we have is somebody else's business. The food that we eat is Swiggy and Zomato's business. The transport that we take is Uber and Ola's business. Every single thing that we do till the moment we brush before we go to sleep at night is somebody's business. But when it comes to when people think about business news, the only thing that is being spoken about are 100 to 200 stocks in the stock market, and that's about it. And there are 50 players doing the same thing, and that is where I think the gap is. Not much of the country's population actually invests in stock market. They should, and there needs to be financial literacy for that. We need to empower them, enable them, and make sure they have enough information to make those decisions. But it's not business news is not just a game of telling you something that and making you invest in A stock or B stock. Yes, we are into business news, but we are into the business of everything, because everything else is business. So, like I said, we cover everything from social media to the gadgets that you use, to the footwear, to your food items and the companies that serve them. and we sort of address the audience, the consumer, and not the company. There's no point in taking information from a trader or from a CEO and giving it right back to them. The consumer has to know how it affects their life. I think that is where we stand apart from the crowd. And more importantly, technology. In India, technology is probably at an early stage, so the coverage is also at an early stage. But because of what we learned from BI Global, we've been able to sort of make the transition really fast. So the technology coverage on Business Insider is, I think, above par. And you will probably, it's unmatched in India right now. And we're covering everything from space and science. These are some absolutely sort of, areas that other publications don't even venture into. And because you will have to hire someone who knows it all. But we have tried to develop, with the help of the BI Global, a certain kind of skills, and we know how to cover some of these areas that other publications don't venture into. So therefore, when we do a space story, it gets retweeted by Captain America, the actor who plays Captain America. Similarly, we did another story which gets retweeted by Dean Jones. So, and these, I'm not talking about BI Global stories. I'm talking about stories written by a 22-year-old in India that is capturing the attention of Captain America, and he puts out a retweet, and then we have 35,000 people following that story in 1 minute. And that's the level of impact that we're talking about. And these kind of scale is available in spaces like technology, in spaces like outer space and science. And those are the areas that we are focusing on in a big way. The reason why BI sort of stands out, and as an editor, I shouldn't be saying this, but definitely I think there is enough value for advertisers and brands on Business Insider. Again, like I said, just the global reach and reputation, and just understand that this industry is in transition. Every advertiser, every brand is sort of measuring every penny that they spend, and because they don't know what is working and what is not, the numbers are all over the place. But digital gives you that immediate feedback. You know what is working, what is not working, which brand to invest in. And I think if you take a look at BI and the performance, the target audience, I think you will find that the kind of audience pool that we are building, they are going to stay with us for the next 20 years. And we are going to become a habit. And just like they check Facebook every morning, the first thing that they're going to check is Business Insider, because we are telling them stories about Facebook, about Instagram, about YouTube, about Spotify, about Swiggy and Zomato, about Uber and Ola, about every single thing that makes that is part of the new digital life that everybody is living. And therefore, we are as much part of their lives than somebody who's talking about a Tata Motors stock or some other business. I don't want to sort of take names here, but any other company, specialty chemicals, or we're not talking about that. We are talking about it to the extent that it's relevant to a young audience that is upwardly mobile, aspiring, wants to know more things, but wants to be engaged on their terms and not on ours.